All right, let's take a look at the first problem. Study the equation y equals 1/4 times x plus 2 times x minus 6. So this is fully factored. There's no like x squared or anything. Every x is just an x to the 1 throughout this entire thing. So they want to know what are the x-intercepts of this equation. Show your work. When we think about x and y-intercepts, the x-intercept is right here, right? It's on the x-axis. The y-intercept would be on the y-axis. If they're looking for the x-intercept, we can't be on the blue and we cannot be on the red, right? We have to be on this green line. This is where y is positive. Down here is where y is negative. In between a negative and a positive, that is 0. So with that said, for part A, we are going to set y equals 0, and then we're going to solve. Now, notice that if it's fully factored, everything is being multiplied, right? 1/4 times everything in this parentheses, and then times everything in this parentheses. So we just need to set one of these terms equal to 0, and the whole thing will be equal to 0. 1/4 doesn't change, but what's in here, we can change that x to whatever we need to. So if we plug in a -2 there, -2 plus 2 is 0. If we plug in a 6 here, 6 minus 6 is 0. Right? And if you really wanted to, we could actually solve that out longhand, right? X minus 6 equals 0. Add 6 to both sides. And again, you get x equals 6. So that's how we do it longhand. But if I think we're at the point now where we should be able to see, generally speaking, they're going to have a number here, between like 1 and 10 for all intents and purposes. So you should be able to see that it's the opposing number. It's a -5 here, it's going to be a 5 here, for example. So let's graph these two x-intercepts that we found, right? Because we said y equals 0, therefore we found was the x-intercepts. We've got these two yellow dots to represent it. That's why I've underlined these yellow, and that's why they're yellow over here. Now, for part B, they asked us, what is the vertex for this equation? Well, first and foremost, how far away are these parts from each other? Or are these points from each other, rather? Well, the difference of the 2 points. So we can pick either point, it doesn't matter. We start with -2. We subtract the other point from it, which is 6. So -2 minus 6. The absolute value of that is equal to 8. Remember, the absolute value makes anything positive, and a distance is always positive. So we put absolute values in there. We could also start with 6, right? I told you we could start with either one first. 6 minus, and then we plug in the other value, which is -2. Notice that you put a negative either way. It's just that 6 was positive to begin with, and this one was negative to begin with, so that's why we have an extra negative here. 6 minus a -2, that's going to be 8. Absolute value of 8 is 8. And again, absolute value of -8, also 8. So we got the same answer. That's going to be this whole line right here. That's not what we actually need. What we need is what's in between the two of them. So if the whole distance is 8, then half the distance is just that distance divided by 2. So we take 8 divided by 2, and we get 4. So what does that look like? Well, that means that we go 4 from either point. We can either go down 4 from 6, or we can go up 4 from -2. The up from -2 is in green, the down from 6 is in red. And that's going to give us this point right here, which is x equals 2. Now, note that x equals 2 is not a point, it's a line, right? X is 2 down here, x is 2 right here, x is 2 right here. Does not matter, it's only the y that's changing. So, we have to find our y. along the axis of symmetry. To do that, we're going to plug in this x value that we found back into our original function, which was 1/4 x plus 2 x minus 6. So instead of those x's, we're going to have 2's. 1/4 times 2 plus 2 is 4. We're dealing with fractions. We're going to make sure that it is 1, right? If you have a 4, that's the same as 4 over 1. And our next parentheses, 2 minus 6 is -4. Again, over 1 is just going to be itself, and we need it to be a fraction. Now what we notice here is there's a 4 in the bottom and a 4 in the top. They cross out, right? Any number divided by itself is 1. We also can cross the 1 for the same reason. And then we get -4 over 1. We don't really need it to be a fraction anymore because we don't have any other fractions, so just leave it as -4. What that means is when x is 2, right, when x is our x value of the vertex or axis of symmetry, our y is -4. So we go down to -4, we go over to our axis of symmetry, and put a point there. That is our vertex right there. And then for part C from our problem, so we found the vertex, we found the x-intercepts. Now it wants us to do the graph. Well, we've already been graphing up to this point, so all we really have to do is finish our graph. So we're going to draw a point from the vertex through the x-intercept on this side and through the x-intercept on the other side. And that'll do it for this problem.